we're joined by Zach from Fortnite team.
Hi.
He's going to talk to us a little bit about the game. Super stoked to have you here. But hold on. Immediately before this, while the booster was running, you said something that was very important, and I'd like you to repeat it here on the air.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure she's sure.
Pretty sure.
I love the No.
Yes.
I love it. I watch it all the time. You guys are amazing. You do an amazing job. I'm super excited about it.
We got claps from the No team.
So I had to be here. So I'm super excited to talk
He's
about
only
Fortnite.
saying that because he knows the scandalous scoop you're about to break on Monday about Epic Games. So
Yeah, it's going to be a doozy.
all that yellow journalism that we have. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. I know that day 3, as you can tell from our microphone snafu, but day
What
3
microphone snafu?
is it even fair to call it day 3?
No, like Ashley said, it's day 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's day 6 for all of us who attend and cover the event. But what day is it for developers? Like day 150 at this point?
Well, let's call it like 5 years times some number of days for this game being able to get Fortnite out and showing it to everybody. So
and you guys honestly on the Fortnite team, you probably don't have quite as much of an E3 centric crunch that like some people do because you've had the game in development for quite some time.
Yeah, no. In fact, coming to E3, we were actually quite ready because we've been in online test now for almost 20 months with live players playing the game, getting excited about it, getting their feedback, and just pretty much making the game as great as we can make it. So that way we can release it into paid early access next month.
Yeah, Fortnite was definitely one of those titles when it was announced. Everyone was super stoked about it, and then it went into that kind of period where it went into a long development cycle. But then for the press conferences, I remember there was several in a row where I asked, "Where's Fortnite? Where's Fortnite?" Because I was so excited when I saw it in the announcements, and I just wanted to hear more and more about it.
You teased it and then you took it away.
Yeah, it had to happen. It just had to happen. Like it, we got in there, we made an amazing core loop. We were super excited about it, and then Epic was like, what would be great, would be amazing, is if we thought about the players first, made an amazing game that was accessible by a wide audience. We'd bring it free to play. We saw the industry changing, and so we were like, hey, we're going to take Fortnite, we're going to do that. And so that set us on a journey for the last over 2 years now of transitioning this core loop of Fortnite, this exploring, building, defending game, this action building game that's amazing, into a free-to-play experience that we're actually incredibly super excited about. We're not done with the game yet, though. So like it's not done. It's still plenty of opportunity for feedback, and so that's the reason we're bringing it into paid early access, is to get as many players involved as possible.
And what kind of feedback are you looking for? Like, what is it that you're going to be like getting? Like the kind of feedback you're going to be getting from players, the kind of revisions that you're looking to make. Are we talking minor balancing tweaks? Or are we talking major gameplay stuff?
Let's just say that Darren Sugg and I are not fearful of making major changes to the game given the feedback. And so we've made some major changes during our online test. Our players will attest to it. And now coming into the paid early access, I think we're going to be adding a lot more missions. We'll be doing a lot of events. But the feedback, look, we're looking for everything from the negative, like, hey, what's the worst thing what's the thing that you hate about the game, to, hey, what's the thing that you find most exciting, that you're most engaged with? And we listen to all of it, and we try to react in the most positive ways we can and get the players what they want.
One of the things that I was the most surprised about, and as someone who's followed the title and the development of it for so long, is when I went to an event just recently you held before E3 where we got a chance to look at it. I saw a demo by the dev team. I was surprised by the depth of the game. And was that a shift that came about with the free-to-play?
Yeah, so when we started, there was a transition where we had an amazing, probably 20, 40-hour experience. And so then when we started thinking about free-to-play, we're like, this is really going to be a game that needs to last 5 years, 5 to 10 years. And so at that point, that means over 300 hours of play. That means into the thousands of hours. And so that's really where we took a step back and rethought, okay, well, at that point, we're talking RPG. And we're talking like hardcore PvE. We're talking about how do we have content that is really challenging for players, that sort of makes them rethink how they have to play the game. And so we took those 2 steps back, got a lot of players involved, and now we're here where we have players quite a few players that have over 1,000 hours in the game. You know, and I've had a chance to play with those guys, and they do some amazing things with the tools that we've built inside the game. And so we're excited to be able to add more players to see what they do, but then in addition, like add all sorts of new tools as we go forward.
Well, it also seems like one of the major things about a title like this, and this one in particular, is that there are so many deep trees. There's so many different paths of progression.
Lots of loot and weapons.
So much loots and weapons that you normally when you start out in a game, you get a lot of things quite quickly, and then they taper off, and you stop really getting stuff anymore. Whereas this seems like for a very long period of time, you'll be able to switch to a different progression, and those rewards will just keep on coming. Is that how you're keeping players feeling rewarded, like real go-getters?
Yeah, it's actually right now in the latest. The last reset was probably about 3 weeks ago, and I've been playing hardcore. I was literally just playing just before this, and I was in the middle of a match, and like I literally had my QA Danielle come over, and it's like, hey, you have to finish this because I have to go to this interview, and so so she's like finishing my game, and I was like, I have to get this quest because then I need to get to my next Storm Shield defense to be able to catch up with the players that are currently playing. In order to be able to get the next set of card packs that I'm excited about to be able to unlock my next set of heroes, and so like it's actually really scary when you're addicted to your own game. That's not necessarily a good place to be, but that is definitely where I'm at the moment.
Well, as someone who doesn't have an assistant to playing games, I find myself increasingly, I'm a lifelong gamer, and I think I fall in a category that more and more people are falling into, which is I wish I had more time to play games. Yeah. So for someone who is, it's weird to describe myself as a casual gamer because I'm so immersed in gaming as a whole. Like, what is my experience going to be like?
He does love mobile games.
Yes. Can I drop in and play for 10, 20 minutes?
Yeah. So you absolutely can. So the nice thing is that at the front of the game, you can just join up with your friends. Your friends' power actually, they add up. Okay. So let's say you have a friend that's playing, hundreds of hours in the game. They have a whole bunch of power. And so when you join them, you get a bunch of their power. Your powers add up. And so then you can play some of the content at the same level as they are. The other thing is you can continue to progress your quest at any area of the game.
Okay.
And so in fact, and some of the players I'm playing with, I drop into their matches. They're like 4 or 5 levels above me. I drop in. I basically am able to actually kind of play with them and catch up in my progression. And so, which is, super exciting. It's something that we were very focused on, is making sure that anybody can play with anybody else at any stage and they feel rewarded. Oftentimes you can craft your schematics. So let's say you have a level 100 gun. You can craft that for me, drop it, and then I can pick it up and run around with it and be just as effective as you are.
You're speaking my language here, because I know a lot of people who are way better at video games than I am, and especially they have the time to like go through on something that's free to play, level everything up, and then I can just show up and they just hand me a level 100 gun.
Basically, Ryan, we're gonna need the achievement hunters on this game stat.
Absolutely.
Doing all the hardest
You'll
work.
be our assistants grinding away.
So for those who are not as familiar with this game, do you want to just go through and describe the gameplay loop? Because we're seeing some of the gameplay here, and so you're seeing some of the building, some of the construction, but this all leads to defense. So you kind of go back and forth between these phases.
One of the things I got super excited about is I think this is a game at its core, if I may, that people were very excited. They wanted this game to exist, where it's I don't know if you use the word zombies. I know that's a word that people kind of stay away from.
Husks, mist monsters. We like those words a little better.
Right, but some kind of environmental enemy that's coming at you in a mass horde, and you have a base that you're defending, and it's your job to build it and fortify it, maintain it in one cycle, and then defend it in another cycle.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So and actually, it's really exciting. Okay, so all right, there's 2 different kind of gameplay loops. All right, so one is that you have your Storm Shield area, which is your persistent building area. So you go out in the world, you collect resources, you build there, you defend that against multiple waves. There's 4 locations throughout the game that you get to do that. And so then you can set up these amazing forts. Like some of our players have done just the most extraordinary things in this space. Everything from pirate boat defenses, right, to all the way to like these huge castle fortresses that I'm still amazed that the players could build. So that's one area. The other area, the other core game loop is basically you drop into these procedurally generated worlds. They're never quite the same. You're able to go through, explore, harvest, get materials. You find an objective, and then you're able to build your defense around it, and then defend that against the monsters.
Yeah, procedural generation is one of those things. It seems, on the one hand, it can help you make, again, an infinite combination of things possible. So people are always exploring new worlds. There's something more to do, but they're also tricky to get the balance on those right. So they're different enough, but you have I guess a consistent quality of experience every time you drop into one of those worlds. How do you manage that with this?
Yeah, so this is one of the things where we took our time to make sure that this feels really good. So when when the level designers were going through and thinking about this, they're actually very thoughtful. So there's a lot of hand placed pieces that then we take and we place in random ways around the world. We have loot chests that spawn in random places. The actual defense locations are both hand placed and random, depending upon sort of the mode and where you're playing. And so what happens is that you get this kind of mix of both handcrafted feeling that feels super cool. You're like, oh, like that gnome. I know that gnome's important, and then you find them in the world at different locations where the designers have placed them, and they're super fun and they're hidden. And so there's that little touch of feeling very unique. And then at the same time, it's like, wow, like that I've never been in this area before. I've never defended this space. So, like you basically get a random placement of something. Like, wow, this fort defense, this is going to be hard this time, and I've never gotten a chance to do this before.
We've been watching on screen here a lot of the construction mode. And one of the things that I noticed in the demo was the unique approach you all have to construction, like what's a wall versus what's a wall with a window and what's a wall with a door. Can you talk a little bit about that part of it?
Yeah, so action building. Mm-hmm. It's all about action building. It's about building really fast, really effectively against monsters. At the same time, we're like, hey, you know what would be cool is a window. So what we have is you drop a wall, you edit it, and then you can put a window in it. You just like click out the middle piece. If you want 2 windows, you click out the 2 side middle pieces. And so essentially there's all these different configurations for all of our pieces, and there's 4 base types, and then you can mix and match those in a lot of different ways.
Is it fair to call that like a recipe? About like a geometric recipe?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think you could call it a recipe. Sure, why not?
A very loose recipe.
Yeah,
it's memorization.
It's a pattern, I don't know.
So
it's more like sewing.
There you go, exactly. So if you know the geometric patterns and you have those memorized, you can very quickly, it'll reward people who build on a regular basis.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and what are the 4, you said there's the 4 base types. What are you looking at?
So we've got you have a wall, you have a floor, you have a set of stairs, and then you have a roof piece. And so then that roof piece can be made into a couple different patterns to be able to build pyramids, essentially.
Okay, and so with those 4 different things, all things are possible.
There's a lot of possibilities. What the players do is amazing. The key thing for us was making sure that it was very easy to do, it was very fast, and you could do it in the middle of action. So when you see a monster, like that blaster on screen right now, when that thing spawns, you want to put a wall up right away because that guy will just mow you down. And so you have the gun, you can switch quickly into a wall, drop it right in front of you, peek out to the right or the left, and take that guy down. And it's that fast and it's that easy.
Can you talk about a little bit about the classes, different classes for the enemies?
Absolutely. So, classes of enemies? You want to talk about enemies?
Yeah.
Let's talk about
okay, great.
Well, I
got excited about. I was getting excited about heroes. So
sure, both. We can talk about.
You want to go both?
Let's tackle one, then tackle the other.
Okay. So there's for the enemies we have our base husks, which are kind of like the infantry of the game. They will spawn. They're pretty easy to mow down. But then you get the Huskies that come on, a lot of hit points, really take down they're the tanks of the game. They're kind of like the small tanks of the game. The big tanks of the game are the Smashers. Those big blue guys, they will spawn. They will literally cry out, and when you hear that Smasher cry, you know you're in trouble. And so then everybody on your team is going to be on VoIP. You're like Smasher, and then everybody's running like ganging up on that guy and burning him down as fast as you can, because if he gets to your base, you're going to be having to do a lot more building.
He earns his name Smasher.
Oh yeah, and then we have another class of enemies, the Minimis, the Takers, the Lobbers. They all target the player, and so you find yourself in places where you have a set of enemies that are attacking your base, set of monsters on your base, and then you have a set of monsters that are literally trying to burn you down at the same time, and so it ends up being very challenging very quickly. So some of the heroes in the game, we have our constructor that's on screen right now. The constructors are the best at building. We have our soldier class, which is basically your standard run gun third-person shooter class. We have our ninja, who can double jump into the middle of the fight, take out a lobber or take out some artillery, jump out just as easily. We have our outlander class, who you can see on the screen right now. The outlander is great at harvesting, exploration, very fast on his feet. Each of the classes, each of the heroes, we have 116 heroes in the game. They have different perks and abilities, and so as you collect them over the extent of the game, you'll find that you want a different arsenal every time you go in. And especially when you're playing with friends, somebody will be like, "Hey, I'm going to play constructor." You're like, "Great, that allows me to be the outlander this time. Mm-hmm. I can go in and harvest and have and basically you have a different gameplay experience every time." Yeah,
no, we actually we've been running a poll here using aliveat3.com. Asking the people who are watching what class they want to play, and for a while there, it actually looked like constructor was winning, but in the end,
split between that and ninja.
Yeah, the ninja took the lead. 45% of people want to play ninjas. They want that double jumping into the action.
I did watch the poll
out.
though. Do what I did mentally, which was I would have chosen constructor. That's the way I like to play.
Yeah.
I like to play more support and building. But then, as you described the outlander, I was like, oh, I get to go out and explore and everything. I would switch over to that character.
Yeah, totally.
And it's not a class that I think many people. It seems very unique to Fortnite, the outlander class.
It is a very specific, and so we really tried to build classes that kind of can stand up for each of the core phases of the game, where exploration or building or the defense. And so there's kind of each of those classes has a mix of an area that they're best at.
Yeah, which one do you play? What's your bestest class? What's your main?
I play them all right now. Actually, in this latest progression, I'm maining a soldier. Her name's Rooney. She's a mythic soldier. She's amazing. She's a master grenadier. Get 6 grenades. I have a cluster bomb. It's super fun. But it's the first time I've made soldier.
For people who are new to the genre, what's a class that you'd say is like friendlier for people to start out with?
Yeah, so we start everybody out with Ramirez, who's kind of our main character in the front of the game, and sort of like you start the story out with her. And so Ramirez is really easy to pick up and play. If you're used to third-person action shooting, you're going to love Ramirez. She'll take you through the front of the game, and then we give you basically our constructor, and so Ken, he'll come on, and then you'll be able to choose between those types until you unlock other characters.
Well, we are super excited to get our hands on Fortnite. So when can people take the game home?
Yeah, so 7/25. We're going to be coming out in paid early access through the Epic Games launcher, PC, Mac, PS4, Xbox One. Now, if you pre-order, you get a 4-day head start.
All right.
Okay.
Great. Well, we're looking forward to it. Thanks for joining us.